welcome to the video. I'm Gregory Watson.
I'm Janelle Watson, and earlier today I did a video talking and speaking about two-way communication, and there's been a couple of questions around what that actually means. And as Gregory and I were actually having a conversation about two-way communication, we thought we'd record a video just to let you know what we actually mean when we're speaking about it and what it means for us.
Yeah, a two-way conversation is more than just having two people holding a conversation. It's not that simple. There's a lot more to it. First and probably the foremost is eye contact. It's always disconcerting when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody and you're looking at them and you're talking to them and they're kind of, okay, all over the place. It's really hard to sort of make that the focus. So eye contact is an important part of a two-way conversation.
However, because it's your partner, you don't have to be staring into their eyes every moment of the conversation. You can actually turn away, but actually making eye contact specifically at particular points of the conversation, it's part of actually being present in the conversation, which is another one of our points.
Yes. Yeah, it's very hard to have a conversation about a particular topic if you're thinking about 10 other things. All right, so, you know, what would you like for dinner? Oh, the room needs painting. Oh, the wall needs mowing, or whatever. If you're not within the present moment, so to speak, or you're not present in the conversation, it makes it really hard to have communication. Again, you've got two people, but you're not having communication. You're just having almost a conversation.
You're just talking. And problem is, people tend to talk at each other rather than to each other. And you'll find with two-way communication, it means that you need to actually be actively speaking and actively listening. To that conversation. And one of the big things that we often find with people is that they're having a conversation and there's all these preconceived ideas about, you know, what the other person is actually saying to them.
Yeah, sometimes you get an idea, this is what I want to do, and the other person starts to say, yep, as soon as they're finished I'll say what I want to say, as soon as they're finished I'll say what I want to say. Right, what I want to say is, and you've completely missed the point that they've made. And it could be that the point that they've made is opposite to yours, and that's fine. Right? It could be that they're agreeing with you and you've missed the point. But the other big thing is with a conversation, whatever the other person says may seem irrelevant right now, but it could become relevant at a later point. Quite often with conversation, somebody will throw something into the conversation, you think, no. And then 5 minutes later you'll come back to, oh, that thing that you said, all right, and it sparks, so A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D, leads to a really good idea. So you need to be open in the conversation to a lot of things, be open to any kind of discussion surrounding the topic, even if you don't think it's how you would approach it, or even if you don't think it's something that you would add to the conversation, let it in, because that mix of ideas, that bubbling around, will quite often lead to a completely different answer than what you were expecting, yet one that was better than either of you had thought of on your own.
Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So with conversations, we find that a lot of people, they come into a conversation with a preconceived idea and they don't listen and they're not actively participating in the actual conversation. One of the other things that we also feel that we'd like to say is that if you're going to have a conversation, it's always a good idea to make it a safe space. Now, if you find that you're not feeling that this conversation is the right time to initiate a conversation, don't do it. Wait. And then find that it's, you know, you have a safe space or a safe time or a safe place to actually have the conversation.
Yeah, and the other half of that is the other person needs to make sure that whoever's having the conversation, whoever's speaking, understands that it is a safe place. You know, when we run training courses and things, we always encourage people to ask questions, right? And one of the things that we do say to them is there's no such thing as a dumb question, there's just a question to which you do not yet know the answer. And that takes away that whole, oh, I'm going to ask them a dumb question. Plus, what often happens in group sessions is that one person will ask a question and you can just see everybody else suddenly paying attention, and up come the pens and they start writing because they wanted to know as well, but they just didn't want to ask, okay? And they haven't got used to the fact that this is a safe place to have a conversation. There are no wrong comments.
Yeah, that's right. And especially when it's between a couple. So basically, a high performance couple will be a couple where there is energy, where there's flow, but the flow is not blocked. And you'll find the same with your conversation. Don't block somebody else's conversation. However, you know, be careful of triggers, be careful of emotional triggers. And this is why we're saying step back, listen to what they're actually saying, create your eye contact, create a safe space. If you feel that it's not going in the right direction, leave it for now and walk away and come back to it later.
Yeah.
So we just thought we would add that little bit in. Two-way communication actually means being active in the conversation, both listening and speaking.
But especially the listening. So.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they say, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion.
Thanks for taking the time to watch
this. Yeah, thanks guys.
And we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Bye.